Greetings, friends and fellow cigar box guitar enthusiasts. Del Puckett here, and it is raining outside, and the river is rising. Oh my gosh. I'll take you on a little walk here in a little bit, go show you the river. Right now, it's just a mud fest. Hey, so anyhow, we are building a left-handed guitar for one of my Patreons who just happens to live in the land down under. So here's my chance to be dyslexic. Today's video, we are going to have count them, five assistants, and I'll show them. Here's the first assistant. Sir Mojo. Sir Monet. Mrs. Osita. Osita. Sir Jasper. And Queen Gracie. So it's been my experience whenever I'm building a left-handed guitar that I always make a mistake. And the reason being is because of the habits that I'm in. You know, I'm in the habit of doing this, I'm in the habit of doing that, and they're typically for right-handed instruments. So I have to be very mindful and aware of the fact that, hey, so I have to double think everything. For example, because you're left-handed, you're going to be playing with your right hand. Does that make sense? And I like the box to open on the bottom. Doesn't have to, but that's how I build, right? I mean, so for me, it would be like this, but that's a right-handed instrument. So if it's a left-handed instrument, the opening goes to the top. Again, you have to think. I had to think backwards. Thank God I was born with two left hands. So that means that the jack is going to be on this side, right? I mean, if you want it to be on the bottom side of where you're going to plug it in, if you're left-handed, right? So that means my neck notch is going to be here, which is, it's kind of the same. It's just that the box opens this way instead of this way. I'm still going to do my sound holes here, and that's it. All right, so let's have fun. Let's get started, and let's try to think like a lefty. So first things first, the jack, yanked out the paper, and then glued up the blocks on all four corners so I can screw the top down. Next, sound holes. Now, here's a little trick. Now this little notch template. So what I've done is I went ahead and put a line here at 6 inches, a line at 6 inches, so I can just quickly slap this thing down on the box and then just line this guy up to the edges, you know, and then it makes it real easy just to center. And then this works great for like centering up for your sound hole and where your notch is going to be. Look, I already put the lines right there where the notch is going to be, just by right there. So do yourself a favor, guys, and yeah, that looks weird. Hello. A couple of things I always do is I always save these little guys, because a lot of times they're like the perfect height for your spacers on the inside. The other thing I always do is I always get like one of these little roundy, some people call these rat tail files, and I just take the edges off of my sound holes just to kind of give them a nice bevel. And then of course I'll sand them up here in a little bit. But that's kind of a gimme. I always do that. Now, in this case here, you can actually see the grain of the wood. This is a laminate. So this box is, look at that. Yeah, this is gonna be a nice box, guys. I'm just saying. Well, and you can also look at the what do you call it? Looks like an Oreo cookie. Everybody's chilling out. Whether you're right-handed or left-handed, you can still probably appreciate a scarf. So what I did is I identified which is going to be the top side of the neck. And this just so happens to be a nice piece of Oregon Doug fir. So the side that's going to be the fretboard side, the top side, I measure down 4.5 inches. And then on the back side, which is going to be the heel side, I measure down 2 inches. Now you can just take my word for it, or I can show you the measurements. 4.5, 2. And that is just to give you just a subtle enough. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, that didn't work. Wait a minute. It's backwards. Oh no, I screwed it up. Just kidding. This is how it works. You take the cut side and you glue the cut side. And of course you're gonna have this little seam. Now some people I've seen, they do it this way. They just cut this side longer, and then they put the seam underneath the fretboard, which is good too, because then that way you don't have to deal with the ugly up here, right? But if you don't care about the ugly, like for me, dude, I don't care about the ugly. I like to make them ugly. You heard of ugly sticks? So anyhow, yeah, just sand it down. It'll be nice. So that gives you a nice, strong scarf joint. Now what I've done is I've made a little jig using one of these tees or cross-cutting things, sleds, and I just built my own little jig so I could clamp the board to this thing here and just slide it through, and it gives me the precise angle for the scarf. So here, I'll let you study that if you like. It's pretty straightforward. It's just an angle thing that you can clamp to it, and then while this goes straight, it goes through at an angle. While the glue's drying, I went and found a matching heel, and then also a fretboard. Now this fretboard here is one of these Home Depot rulers, yardsticks, whatever, but it's orange. And orange is cool. If you like orange, I guess that's cool. But what I want to do is I want to make this black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stain this whole thing. And because these are like indented, then the stain will get in there, and then I'll just sand it off. Now I've done this in the past, and some of the actual sand, some of the orange actually pops through. So you're going to have maybe a little bit of places where the orange might pop through. But the majority of the letters and the lines will be black. Hopefully. Well, while the glue is drying, let's go check out the river. Because, dude, the rivers are rising. All right, let's go check it out. Say hi to the dogs. Hi, dogs. All right, there it is. Yep. It's really high. Let's go check it out. Dogs are so happy. They love the river, huh? Yeah, oh my gosh, wow. I've never seen it this full, and I've been here for a year and a half. So, it's muddy. So anyhow, the plan is to make this into a nice beach. Put some gazebos and some picnic tables, some park benches, groves of trees, maybe some livestock, and then build a house right there. So if you want your fretboard to come over the top of the box here, like that, here's a little tip. Now this is a, a reminder to you veterans, but then here's a tip for you beginners. So what you do is you take the thickness of the top of the box, this thickness right here, which is typically about, I don't know, about 1/8 of an inch or so. So you take that thickness and then you measure it down from the top of the board there, and you make a little line right there. Can you see that little line? So that little line right there corresponds to the thickness of this top. Doesn't have to be exact, but I like to get it pretty much exact. And then I cut that out, and then to incorporate the back angle, I just have a slight, subtle fall off this way down. So if this is 1/8 of an inch-ish, then this would be like maybe double that. Now again, it's not rocket science. This is creative science. So you can see the difference there. So it's, go ahead and figure double if you want. A little bit less than double, perfect. So that's the ballpark to give you the break angle. And then I just cut that out using my fret saw that I get at the CBGitty.com. Just cut that out. And then on my table saw, that way I get a nice straight line here. I'll just cut this guy out to about right here, and then I'll just break it off. So there you can see I cut it. Still connected here on the back side here. Again, I don't want to go too far there because I don't want it to go beyond. And then I'll just file that guy down and I have a nice perfect edge here. Keep in mind that my fretboard is going to ride on top of that guy and give me the lift over the cigar box top that I was after right there. And this here is the perfect job for the Shinto. Because the Shinto takes off a lot of material in a short amount of time. Look at that, done. Done and then some. Bing, bada, bing, bada, boom. And since we opted for the 23-inch scale equal tempered, I just measured out exactly 23 inches to where the piezo is going to go, 23 inches, and then did a little mark here so that we can put the A in piezo. Just like I predicted, I saved the 2 rounds and the little plug from here, and lo and behold, if it wasn't just the exact right height, perfectly. Can't make this stuff up, guys. You cannot make this stuff up. So when I glue that sucker down, look at that. Perfect. Yes. Now we just hurry up and wait for that glue to dry. Well, well, well. I over sanded it on this side. You can't even tell it was a ruler over here. And then right about here, you can start telling it, oh my gosh, it's a ruler. So yeah, got a little aggressive with the sanding on this side, but guys, look at that contrast. Man, okay, so I think I'm actually going to sand it just a little bit more. You get like a gradient in between non-ruler and ruler. So you never know what kind of accidents happen are going to turn out to be to your creative advantage, seriously. Now another hurry up and wait. We're going to glue the fretboard to the neck. We do take the time to carve the neck. So now it's a glue up and hurry up and wait. Dude, my beard is so white. You can't tell where the cat ends and where the beard begins. Woke up this morning to snow. Yay. All right, let's head down to the workshop and we'll just pick up where we left off. First things first, we got to make some cowboy snow coffee. So I help myself to a delicious heaping pile of snow. All right, let's put it on the fire. All right, we got the fire raging. Now we just, a matter of melting the snow and adding some coffee grounds. All right, we thought the river was rising yesterday. Wait till you see it today. Oh my gosh, dude, it is like double full now. Let's go check a look. Looks like a coyote. The dog is just foolish enough to jump in. And I guarantee if I threw a stick, he would jump in after it. That would be mean because it's cold out and he'd be freezing to death. What do you think, Mojo? What do you think? That's about 40 feet across and it's coming right up to the edge here. So yeah. That's some current, dude. Oh my gosh, right there is like 50, maybe 60 feet across over there. So this is good to see because I want to build a bridge and I need to know how high to make the bridge so that even when the water's rising like this, it'll still be above the water level. So I need to cut a block for this back section here. And what I wanted to do real quick is just to do a really quick demo on just how sharp these fret blades are. So I got a piece of, this is that same wood, the Oregon Doug fir, and it's the same dimensions. It's what, 1.5 inches by 1/2 inch. So it's basically like a 1x2, but you know, it's smaller. All right, this is not trick photography, folks. This is just regular cutting. Ready? Okay, so that sucker's sharp, dude. Oh my gosh, seriously. And at this stage of the game, we take a perfectly nice box and we trash it. So we got a little carried away, and it's okay. I mean, this definitely looks trashed. I hit all the corners, every single corner, and you can see that it's going to start peeling away. But it's okay because if it's meant to be peeled off, it's going to be peeled off. The stuff that's really stuck, it'll be really stuck because I'm not done yet. I'm going to still, I'm going to hit it with sandpaper, and then maybe some charcoal and some steel wool. And I was also thinking I should probably get some of that muddy water from the river and then some coffee from my coffee pot. Oh, dude, my coffee pot's boiling. Time for some coffee. You can hear the pot boiling. Next, some really coarse sandpaper. This is like 60 grit. And again, I'm just hitting the corners. And right off the bat, dude, check out what that looks like right off the bat. Oh my gosh. So basically, I'm just taking off the loose paper and making these edges really round. Okay guys, this is the strategy. I went down to the river and I got some of that mighty fine river mud water, number one. Number two, I brewed up some snow coffee and I'll drink the coffee, and then when I get down to the grounds, I'm gonna eat, ow, that's hot. I'll get some of the grounds of that and mix it in with the muddy water, and then stain this box. I'll stain the box and the neck. And so yeah, so not only will it be a lefty, but it'll also be stained with muddy water and coffee grounds. And then at the very end, I'm gonna scrape it, put the lines in it with this charcoal. Step one is to drain all the coffee out, which I've just about done. Just a little bit left. There should be nothing but coffee grounds in here now. And I'll let this settle. All the good stuff here is at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is drain this off and get the good brown stuff there and mix it all up with the grounds. All right, so I poured all off, everything except for the sludge at the bottom. And I guess the best way to do that would be to maybe pour this in there or that in there. I guess back and forth. I go back and forth. Grounds are going to get caught on the, oh yeah, look at that. I guess if I pour it without the hole, then I'll get them all of them. Does that make sense? All right. Yeah, you can see all the grounds up there. Now we're going to go to town. All right, one last thing is we're going to take it outside and bury it in the dirt. So why are you going to do that? Well, the answer is because I can. Because I got dirt right there. Ready? Come on. You're supposed to be helping me. It's hard to get good help these days. What do you think, dogs, huh? What do you think? Huh? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. There you go, get it out. Where'd it go? Get it, Mojo, get it. Yeah, there it is, get it. Get it. Where'd it go? 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 There it is, look. There it is. There it is. See, they're helping us. All right, another cool thing that happens is when it gets all wet like that, is that some of this paper gets soggy and you can just wipe it off. So now only the paper that's on is going to stay on. Everything else is pretty much decided it wasn't going to stay on anymore. Oh my gosh, that looks freaking awesome. That looks awesome. All right, time to clean up. I want it to dry fast, so I put it by the fire. Do you ever ask yourself, why do you do the things you do? Somebody asked me recently, well, they were asking themselves, but it was a rhetorical question, like, why do we build? Why do we keep on building and keep on building? That's a good question. Here's the wire. I got one of these spools here of black. I'm not sure the gauge of it. If I had my reading glasses, I could tell you. 24 AWG. 24 AWG. So anyhow, when I'm going just from the piezo to the jack, I have as short as possible. So in this case here, I'm going to go, let's say 5, we'll give it 6 inches. Before I solder up these wires, I get this flux, the flux capacitor, a little Q-tip, get a little wax on there. It's kind of waxy kind of stuff. And then I just kind of touch whatever I'm going to solder. I'll just touch it like that. And then also the box, I'll touch the leads on the box, on the jack. And then you don't really need to do it on the piezo. So I'm not going to do it on the piezo. So just the wires should be sufficient. So yeah, so why do we build? I got to thinking of it. I can give you 5 answers. The
first answer is kind of a philosophical answer, and I would say I would answer that question by asking a question, and that question is, why wouldn't you build, or what prevents you from building, or why not build? So it's more of like, I guess I look at it as a get to and not a got to. It's kind of like asking a singer, why do you sing? Or a songwriter, why do you write a song? Or a guitar player, you know, what drives you to play? So I think because I'm a musician, I think I just kind of evolved into building. I mean, yeah, I guess I definitely evolved into a builder, because I started out as a player, and then as a tinkerer, and then, you know, you're always like trying to invent sounds and invent, you know, distortion effects or whatever the case is. And then you get to thinking, oh man, I could just, if I added a humbucker to this Stratocaster, then it could be rock and roll or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You start thinking beyond just playing on how you could be creative and invent sounds. Well, dude, the cigar box guitar is the playground for inventing things. It's like the next level up. And I don't say that condescendingly at all. I mean, but it's a level up, in my opinion, musicianship wise, because as a musician, you know what you like to hear and play and feel in an instrument. Well, so if you know that going into the build, you know the sound that you want to hear coming out your hands and your fingers, and you know what it should feel like, and you know what an in tune and out of tune is. So you build to that end, right? Yeah, and trust me, it's a perpetual elusive butterfly thing, because you always think, oh, I could do better. Oh, I can do better. Oh, I could do better. Oh, I could do better. And the truth is that yes, you can do better. Yes, you can do better. And yes, you can do better. And so with each build, you learn stuff, man. You do mistakes. You stumble upon creative things. And so it's more of a process. You never arrive, because you're always seeking to improve upon artistically or creatively something that you think might not be as good as it could be. I don't know if that makes sense. So is that a reason to build? It's one of the reasons. You know, obviously another reason is, you know, you can make money at it or sell it and inspire other people, teach other people. You know, like I said, it's like, I think it's more of a form of artistry. Why does an artist paint the same picture over and over and over and over and over and over again? It's not the sand picture, it's a different picture. Yeah, but it's the same idea, right? The same, it's a canvas with a lake and a tree and a sunset. You know, and trust me, I'm not berating or belittling, because that's kind of what I do. I do the same thing over and over and over and over. And aren't you bored yet? No, I'm not. I do not feel like I'm losing steam or getting bored. To be honest with you, I feel like I'm just getting started, and I've built over 400 of these things, and I just feel like I'm scratching the surface of the possibilities. It's an infinite, endless possibilities that a person can do with these things. So that being said, what are the other reasons that I build? Well, I don't know if the reason is so I can do a YouTube video. That might be a reason, I guess, you know. So I get, you know, multiple bangs for the buck, right? Not only do I get a YouTube video, but I get to be creative in the YouTube video, hopefully, and teach some people through a YouTube video, as well as be creative musically and woodworkingly. Is that a word? Woodworkingly. So yeah, it's just a big old conglomerate of artistic expression wrapped up in the little old humble disposable, not to be taken too serious instrument that we call the cigar box guitar. So I don't know if that answers your question. It probably doesn't. It probably makes you even more confused. So getting back to the piezo. Yeah, you don't need any flux for the piezo. All you do is you just heat up your soldering iron, put a little flux on it, touch it to the solder, get a little drop of solder, and then just touch the little drop to that, and it stays on there just fine. I do get all of my piezos and all of my parts at the cbgiddy.com. I'll put a link in the video description below. And there's also a promo code for a 10% discount. Yay! All right. Pick a card, any card, any card. Pick a card, pick a card. We're going to pick eeny, mo, miny, meeny, that one. Put the rest of the cards back. Quick, hurry, hurry, hurry. All right, what do we get? What did we get? 3 of diamonds. Swing. All right, hot glue in the hole. Piezo in the hole. Ah, hot. I forgot it was hot. Amazing how you forget these things. Make sure it's level, no tilt. A little more hot glue. Just enough to fill up the hole. Then a card. Face up so you can always see it, right? Center it up. Ow. Nice and hot. Don't push it down because you want the lid to push it down. And then just shut it like it be normal. And you are good to go, my friend. Good to go. So I'm trying to hold it like a lefty. So I got my dots here on the top. And open it up here. Here's my jack. There's the card. Now, one thing I did want to point out here, before you screw in these guys, right, you want to make sure that you are square up and down. Perfect on both sides. Check both sides. Now again, you can use a centering tool. Find the center of this thing, measure both the center at the top and the bottom. Whatever method you do, you just want to make sure that you are nice and straight. Perpendicular. It's just makes more sense. I keep holding it this way. It's gotta be this way, guys. Yep. Hinge on. Strings. I'm just doing a loop around this time on the string. And now I had an extra saddle laying around here, so I'm just using this saddle just for the setup here. I haven't measured it yet. But what I wanted to kind of show you was, remember when I took one of these string winders and I cut it off, and then I got my hot glue, or not, my soldering iron, and poked a hole through it, and then put all thread on it so I could make my own little twisty, so I could put it in the drill and use that as a mechanism to speed up so it's a nifty little gadget. Let's see if I can play left-handed. Right, well, I built this saddle a little differently. You'll notice that there is no fret. It's just a curved top. And my gosh, it makes it sound awesome. My gosh. Now again, these strings are upside down. They're right side up if you're going to be playing this way. I got the low string, which is the 44, then the 34, then the 26, and I am tuned G, D, G. But I'm not even going to try to play like this. I'm just going to play with the strings upside down, which, man, I tell you what, it plays tricks on your mind. I don't have any dots, so I'm just kind of, the dots are on the bottom side. Oh yeah, I was gonna go. playing my chords, but these are inverted right. All right, let's plug this thing in. All right, this time we are in the Roland Microcube boring settings. And like I said, I am tuned G, D, G, or thereabout. So when you want to have fun, take your strings and turn them upside down. Put the skinny string on the top, middle string stays the same, and the big fatty on the bottom. And oh my gosh, dude, it's upside down. Well, wouldn't that make sense? Since this is gonna go to the land down under. Again, this guitar was a gift to one of my Patreons, and may this guitar give you long time, many years of happiness. And finally, the signature hook. Just get one of these little goldies. And this is so that you can just hang a nail, bang a nail in the wall, or a piece of wire, or something, anything, no matter. And then you can hang it, like this, for example. Ta-da! All right, guys, if you enjoy these videos, be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, all the blah, 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 blah. And I'll leave you with a little outro.